Sign up to Bityard today, deposit $100 to qualify for the wallet token airdrop. Hello everybody, welcome back to Wrecked City. Let's have a look at Bitcoin first, and we're going to whiz through a few other charts, including traditional markets, BTC Dominance chart, and something else, can't remember now. I've got it all loaded up and planned. So yeah, it looks like that short signal that we were talking about over the last 7 to 10 days has played out. So we got this over here, cheeky span below price action, big red portion of the cloud, and obviously the price below the cloud. Three components for a short signal, and the short signal is now playing out. That short signal was generated roughly around 39,200, and we pumped into it on the FOMO meeting, so the FOMC meeting. Everybody pumped into that, and as we said a couple of days ago, you know, these are the opportunities for those who want to be a hero and try and short. I'm not saying that you should do that, but I know that that's what most people are, you know, I suppose the chart would suggest you do. Now, whether we continue from there is a different story. We alluded to the fact that we could have a continuation rally yesterday, same as we did in March, but a couple of days ago the video was really about sort of piling on shorts, whether each one of these moving averages, if we were to get to them. And I suppose that was what yesterday's video alluded to as well. I mean, the general direction is down on all time frames, and so we can't really expect anything significant out of crypto. But that said, you know, coming down to this level, it's a 10% drop, sort of outside the Bollinger Band, got sucked back up in last night, back down again, trying to maneuver our way back inside the Bollinger Band. It's still pretty bearish. You know, we can surf the outer rim of the Bollinger Band, certainly, all the way down to these levels, which are about 35,000, 32, and my next buy order, which is about 31,350 down there. So it doesn't look good. There's nothing really bullish about it. There's not even any divergences on any of these time frames. We could potentially be seeing a divergence forming on a 3 daily, but again, that's yet to be seen. We don't have it yet. Don't have a lower low formed properly yet. And if we were, then we could talk about maybe getting some divergence, but we can't play signals that haven't been generated, which is why we generally only really play the signals that are generated, right? But the lower Bitcoin goes, the more appealing it looks, I have to say. And let me show you Bitcoin here. We've seen it before. This is Bitcoin on the logarithmic scale, about a 10-year history going on. It was more than a 10, yeah, it is a 10-year history. But over the last 8 or 9 years, we've had this, which is our move up, bear market end, bottom on this trend line, move up, bear market end, didn't actually get to it, move up, huge consolidation, coronavirus dump, hit there, and then now we're coming back down. So do we bounce from this level, or do we end up bottoming around this zone? We could do, right? We could do. I mean, it's held for the best part of 10 years. If we were to come down to this area this month, we'll be talking about 26 to 27,000. If we did it next month, about 28, 29, which is the summer lows, as you can see. We've got our summer lows forming around 28, 29,000. Again, this is just a monthly, but there is a bit more significance to that level. The month after that is about 31. Okay, so that is hopium for you, but it's also opportunity for you. Remember, the best time to buy is when the candles are red. The worst time to buy is when the candles are green. I don't know if you're anything like me, but obviously we've been in crypto for many years, and most of the time people are like, oh, I'm not getting it. Oh, no way, I'm not buying that stuff. Jeez, oh, I've seen what it does. No way. And they don't want to buy it for the most part. And then when it starts doing things like this, normally towards the peak, you'll get a little text going, well, so this crypto, can you tell me how to buy? Are you sure about it? I mean, it's not really the right time. No, I want to do it. That happened over in 2017, I can tell you. It happened again over at these tops. People contacting me. So this crypto stuff you're doing, yeah, is it good? What about NFTs? And I'm like, oh my god, right. So remember, those people aren't going to be wanting to buy it now, and that's fine, because this is where we consider buying it seriously. And the lower we go, especially towards this trend line, I'll be more and more interested. And remember, this is an only up chart, isn't it? This is on a logarithmic scale. Turn it off the logarithmic scale, you can see how only up it really is. Obviously the trend line doesn't exist outside of the log scale, but I only would really, the log scales suit for a chart of this size and of this length. So it is what it is. So there's a little bit of hopium for you. Now, something I noticed which is pretty interesting is how the Bitcoin dominance chart chart is actually going down, suggesting that regardless of that 10% move for Bitcoin yesterday, altcoin market cap actually remained stronger than Bitcoin's, which is pretty unique. Now this is I wouldn't say a bullish chart, but it suggests reversal when you turn your indicators on. If I won't bother showing you all that, we've seen it all before. But interestingly, we see that we're coming back down. So if we do, for whatever reason, come back down to this 40% dominance here, the altcoins will be having little rallies or surviving, generally, I suppose. There's many altcoins out there, none are created equal. But if we were to come down to this level, it would be a time to think about seriously either alternating into a Bitcoin position or getting out of those altcoin positions in general. There is a chance that we break down lower and go down to the 36. We've done it in the past, but generally this area is the bottoming kind of vibe, and it bottomed around here and around here and around here. And we could be doing it once again. Now sometimes we bottom here and the market crashes and everything goes down, so that could happen. Sometimes we bottom around here and the market pumps and Bitcoin outperforms altcoins. So we don't know which direction price is going to be when it comes down to this level, but one thing we can say is you're better in a Bitcoin position to an altcoin position. And I've been saying this the whole way down. When we got into alts big time around this level, because obviously, this is the best way to use the Bitcoin dominance trade. It's simply just a matter of support and resistance, rebalancing your portfolio accordingly. The lower you go, especially as you head towards supports, you want to go back into or think about balancing your altcoins back into Bitcoin, just shuffling your portfolio around. And I was saying that the whole time, I say, right, hard and heavy into altcoins here. Every time we've come to this level, serious alt season. And we got probably the best alt season in since forever, really. I suppose you could call that an alt season, but really the chart wasn't relevant back then. But this is the best alt season that had been determined by using the Bitcoin dominance chart. It was pretty awesome and long lasting. But every time we came down to a support, I say, right, alternate into Bitcoin just in case. Let's take some profits, put them into Bitcoin, because you just don't know which way it's going to go. And it never did. I said, all right, we're coming down again, let's do it again. You don't know where it's going to. All right, the party continues all the way down. Let's do it again. And finally, at some point before that massive crash in May last year, probably a year ago, it ended up being the right thing to do to a large extent, saving yourself some significant pain, really, Again, we are approaching this level again soon, and if we do come down to it, whether we go up or down with price, you might end up seriously saving yourself from some significant pain, which is always a bonus. No one, I say no one. I'm personally not into pain. Some people are, but I think the minority are. The majority of people don't really like pain. So yeah, that's one thing I would keep my eye on. You can keep your eye on whatever you want. So we've done the dominance chart. Let's have a look at the Dixie. So Dixie came back up to its peak and actually made another little tiny peak. Still strongly believe that we do consolidate from here over maybe a couple of weeks to maybe a few months. We'll see. But I'm not looking for huge dramatic drops on this one. It would likely get picked up at any of these areas, whether it's 102, maybe 100, which corresponds to this top, maybe just below. Just below 100, around there. Each one of these levels is an opportunity for it to get picked back up and then go on to make another high, which is going to be around 106, 107 as its next major target. But for the moment, I do think we do have a cooling off period. Whether we go down lower than this is we'll have to wait and see. Remember, you're fighting the Fed, and that's something we should never try to do. We know that this was we knew that this was going to be a bullish chart coming into this year. We knew that as early as September. I reminded everybody of that on a video maybe last week where I was saying it's going to be a bullish year for the dollar. So we're getting the bullish year for the dollar. We should imagine it to continue to be a bullish year for the dollar because it's being backed seriously by the Fed, and that you can't fight the Fed. They are the ultimate money tampering and manipulation of currency in the world, so you can't really fight them. Their power is too strong. So we should imagine it to continue up, and if we turn all the indicators up, there's absolutely every single time frame still remains super turbo bullish on this one. Each dip is basically a buy the dip kind of vibe, really, which will remain until we have end of trend signals or Fed start to change the way that their outlook and inflation figures starting to look better. So all of that is going to help this moving up, right? So this is a chart on steroids, really, and a lot of them as well. So we've done DXY, Bitcoin Dominance, we've done Bitcoin logarithmic scale, and we'll finally end up with traditional markets. So this is your NASDAQ, probably the most correlated out of all, because it is tech sector, and you could just about class Bitcoin as you know, within that. And they're correlated to an extent, obviously, but what we see is major consolidation down, a move up from that support, breakdown from this support. So it would appear that we're heading towards just above 12,000. So 11,800 is our next level of support. That comes in at these tops and last minute rally. So if we break down from there, then it would get seriously nasty. We'd be looking for areas of about 10,500. Each one of these, again, for those who want an only up chart, the NASDAQ is one of those charts for you, isn't it? You know, by its very nature, it's designed to go only up. Now, that is over a long period of time. This is an investor's wet dream, basically. You know, you buy and leave to hold, allow it to ride. Doesn't mean it can't come down to some serious crashes. We've done it in the past. Your dot-com bubble, obviously, this was significant for the NASDAQ, significant retracement in a true crypto style, really. 78% retracement. That was a dot-com bubble. We're not in a dot-com bubble right now. The whole market effectively felt some serious upside because of monetary policy. Free money, basically, going back into things, and now it's coming out. Basically, that's what's going on, but it will go back in. Like I say, you bought the top of the Bitcoin of the dot-com bubble, yeah, you would have been forgiven because it is an up-only chart. So when you find these up-only charts, like Bitcoin, which is an up-only chart, your only real worry is time. And so if you want to take part in the market, you can think about each one of these areas as an opportunity. Buying into supports, buying into supports, buying into supports, and so on and so on and so on, buying into supports. I know those levels are a bit crooked, but you see what I mean. And you move into the asset or the indice or the commodity, which is an only up chart. NASDAQ obviously is one of them by its very nature of how it's designed, what it is, what it refers to. So it's an up-only chart. So this is good for overall investments and confidence coming back into the market, because on each one of these, including these levels and including this one and including the next one, they are going to see some serious buys because it's an up-only chart. People want it. So like I say, you buy it and you leave it, and eventually, even if you bought the absolute top of the dot-com bubble, you know, you would be significantly older, but you would have made some money. It's an up-only chart. This is what I tried to put across with Bitcoin. Maybe not so much with altcoins because they're not up-only. All you need to really do is look at the Bitcoin, like an altcoin versus its Bitcoin pairing, and it's generally down-only, right? So Bitcoin is always the better one over time. And most of the people don't fail to understand that until you actually show them the charts and they see it for what it really is. Most altcoins don't survive the test of time versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin is slow and steady, wins the race. It's like the tortoise and the hare, isn't it? It's effectively what it is. And Bitcoin ends up being supreme overall. It's not always the case, but I'd say it's probably 99% the case. So yeah, another up-only chart, going to get bought around here, and if that fails, then yeah, we come back down to a larger extent, down to these areas down here. Another 10% drop for the NASDAQ, potentially another 16, 17, 18, maybe 20% drop for the NASDAQ coming. That would be disaster for everything. But again, we're not there yet. We're just speculating. And again, for those who want to buy dips, or you know, who want to take part in up-only charts, this is how you do it. You buy supports and you wait. This is what I do with Bitcoin. You buy supports and you wait. So it's not the end of the world. Maybe if you're holding on to some terrible altcoins, it might be the end of the world. But for the most part, it's not the end of the world. This is an up-only chart, as we recognised on our logarithmic scale chart. It's an up-only chart, right? And we're coming down to an area of major support that's held quite well, generally speaking, over the last 10 years. So with that in mind, you know, where are you going to take part in this market? Or are you not going to take part in the market? I am taking part in the market, and I welcome lower prices. Like I say, 31,350 is my next buy order, just to get in there, but it doesn't mean it can't come down lower. We do expect lower. We've been expecting lower for a little while, just based on what the chart suggests. There's no real upside pointing. There's no signals pointing to any kind of upside at the moment, but that's okay. You buy when confidence is low, when nobody wants it. Matt Damon's gone home. He'll be back. He'll be back in a few years to talk about it once again. But until then, this is for you and me to seriously think about getting back into this this chart. The lower we go, the better the opportunity. Like I say, you're not likely to catch the absolute low. That's for people with an enormous stroke of luck, or absolute heroes, basically. But what you are looking to do is incrementally buy with these major lows that are getting put in bit by bit by bit. So, a bit of hopium. I am looking for some upside over the next few days, but generally I would expect us to carry on down gently, not massively, but gently. But with the Dixie looking like it wants to consolidate, that would just be for me like a slow bleed out of this. The overall vibe, when we take all this noise off, is that we're looking at accumulation. And the accumulation basically within this major range of roughly the summer lows, 29,000, to this top around 52,000. This is a zone to be bought. All of this is a zone to be bought. So arguably I've bought the middle of the zone. Now I'm looking to buy the bottom levels of the zone. And if we break down from there, I will, well, if I've got any money left, I'll be buying it. I'll be buying it back. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, guys. Quite a long video. I hope that was useful for you. If not, well, I don't know. Do your own research, I suppose. But yeah, I hope you have a nice day. Live stream tonight. Feel free to join the Patreon with the link below. And have a nice day. Take it easy.